At age 62, IRMA Lopez didn't expect to still be raising children, but that's exactly what she's doing. She's responsible for her 3 grandchildren, Dennis Mali, Carlos and Armando. Facing a dire economic situation in Venezuela, their mother was forced to leave the country in search of work. It's a situation that's been repeated across the country, with parents leaving their children in the care of their extended families or neighbors out of despair.
My daughter left seeking a better future. She was already a widow with 3 children, and even though she worked hard here, what she'd make wasn't enough. I tried to support her, but all I get is $6 a month in pensions. She now sends money so that the children can eat at least.
Hyperinflation, caused in part by US sanctions, has reduced the country's cash flow by more than 50%. With unemployment on the rise, children are increasingly being left behind while their mothers and fathers search for work. The Secodap clinic in Caracas specializes in helping children deal with trauma. Its head psychologist tells me that in the past few months, his clinic has witnessed an exponential rise in the number of children suffering as a result of being separated from their parents.
We see depression, anxiety, the sense of abandonment from their parents. We see a drop in the performance at the school.
The impact on children as a result of the political crisis and the sanctions on Venezuela is far-reaching. Aside from those being separated from their parents, malnutrition is on the rise and schools are being affected too, with teachers going on strike over lack of pay. One of the trademarks of the socialist government from the days of President Hugo Chavez was its investment in education. It's introduced policies that allowed for poorer Venezuelans to go to school and university. But with a declining economy and the impact of US sanctions, the government isn't able to provide education for everybody. And that's why schools like this one, in one of Caracas's favelas or shantytowns, run by the local church and funded by international NGOs, are becoming ever more important. Sister Rossana Herrera tells me that she too has seen things getting worse for children in recent weeks. And it means that the church and its partners need more resources to help them.
The current situation has led to kids being malnourished. This has several consequences on the children, psychologically, biologically, and intellectually. My colleagues tell me they've noticed the children are now slower at learning things. They don't understand things as easily as before. They fall asleep or sometimes even faint.
Sister Rossana teaches the children that God will never abandon them. For IRMA, every day she comes back home, she must think of ways to reassure her grandchildren that their mother hasn't abandoned them either. Jamal, ELSHAYYAL, Al Jazeera, Caracas.